Okay, guys, should be live here. Um, Day two. Okay, this is me going live on Voice of Armwrestling, so we can discuss the situation and figure out what is the problem and how we can fix the problem. And the problem is a real problem. There's a lot of problems in that. One of the problems is that I think people are acting emotionally and they're being a little bit of disingenuous about the whole situation. And the situation is coming from not place of reason, but from place of emotions. I would love to hear any kind of arguments, any kind of discussions, and any kind of just talk about all these topics. Um, Listen, first of all, I know a lot of people from yesterday are already tuning in. I had a few people that I'm gonna get on the show, and we're gonna talk about a bunch of these subjects. But I want to say I'm very happy and kind of it's crazy that people care so much about arm wrestling. I think it's amazing because it's a thing that I really love too, and I do really care about arm wrestling. A lot of people like my Instagram blew up today. It was pretty crazy. So I appreciate all you reaching out. I think I didn't answer to all the messages, but just listen. We are in a bad situation, and we need to get out of it. And the best way to get out of anything is to talk about it and make understanding. I want everyone to understand what the hell is happening. I want athletes to understand what the hell is happening, and of course I want the public. I think there's a lot of conversations that shouldn't be out and open and in the public, but there should be some things that are talked about. And what I saw yesterday, I really didn't like, where people were attacking Devon, his family, for his character, not about his arm wrestling. And I wanted to get someone who wants to talk. So this is an open invite. If any of the athletes that left or took a stance against East versus West because they they say or they feel they're threatened from Devon, I would love to get you guys on. I don't know if Devon is coming on today. We will see, maybe. But I just want to get a conversation going, and I want it to be productive. So also today, one of the guys that asked me to come on was Artem Tarinenko. I think he has some things to say, and I will keep it like this. Yesterday we had few people, and the discussion went, and it was great. But I also will want to do where I have someone for time, and as soon as they say what they want to say, and then maybe someone else can come in, because I don't want to have it too crowded. I don't want to have 4 or 5 people here and everyone just stays and listens. No, it's fine. You have to come in, you have to be productive, and then you have to leave. you know so I think would everyone be understand the things that I'm saying, like that, this would these be good rules for the thing that we're doing, right? Yes, Ozzy will come on. I will send him message. Let me get this. So okay, so first of all, first will be Artem, and later I'm gonna get Luke Polsher. He wanted to come on and talk about referee stuff, and I've been very critical. Um, yeah, yeah, panels are good. Panels are good, but I if someone comes on, I really want to hear their thoughts more than the rest. And if they still have something to say, and everyone talks over each other, and they cannot get their point across, I feel like that is a little bit counterproductive, right? I really want to be productive, guys. Like this is me. I don't like this. I hate this. This is a very bad and stupid situation we are in, and I just don't like where arm wrestling is going, and I just want to have a conversation about it. Uh. Man, okay. I hope I didn't miss any super chats. No, perfect. Okay, I send a I'll send an invite for Artem Taranenko because he's been leaving some interesting comments to me, and he wants to come on and we'll talk about stuff, and I think that's really good. Um, okay, we'll see if he can figure out how Riverside works. That would be great. Yeah, so I saw the post that today was made from East versus West. You guys want to hear me read it out if you didn't see it? Did you guys? Everyone saw the post that I think it was Robert Baxter that made the post. I think it was also Robert. Yeah. Okay. EW Sports. Okay, official statement. You guys want me to read it out loud? Or did you guys read it and I don't have to? Um, yeah, I'm having some beer. Actually, I got two cans of beer because maybe I get drunk enough and that angry enough that I just go crazy, you know. Hey guys, hey Puri Pullers. I'm gonna be in Puri on the weekend of what is it, 9th of August, pulling super match there. Janis also will be there. Athletes from Sweden will be there. It will be great event. So if you're in Finland, I hope to see you guys there. I'll make some videos and posts, and very excited. We'll pull another super match. Also excited for that. One of the strongest and legendary guys from Finland. Great. So, uh, mhm. Okay, official statement from Robert Baxter of EVW Sports regarding clarification. So this is great because yesterday that's what we were talking about. Me, Neil, pretty much everyone, Pradeep, everyone who was there, were like, we just need, we just need to move forward. Sorry guys, I'm stumbling a little bit, you know, because yeah. EVW Sports would like to clarify the following. First, upcoming events. The only confirmed EVW event to date is the EVW Show Classic in Loveland, Colorado on August 15, 2025. I love that it is in Loveland. I didn't know that. So, EVW is seeking to reschedule the Baku, Azerbaijan event that was originally targeted for August 2nd. So probably, yeah, not probably, but August 2nd will not happen. Like from this, but we would all understand it. Engin Terzi. Robert Baxter and Engin Terzi have been in discussions regarding Engin's potential rehiring for certain responsibilities within the organization. I think it's good. There's a conversation and it's moving along. I hope it comes to they make some kind of agreement where all the sides and mostly everyone that is pissed off with all this benefit. You know, I just want to see this end. I want to know when is the next event and what I can look forward. Rule changes. Since the new ownership took over, the only new match rule implemented has been the change to any round going to Rev's grip. Any remaining rounds will start in Rev's grip. So any round going to Rev's grip, any remaining rounds will go to Rev's grip. Any other deviations from WF rules were adopted prior to the current ownership. So the only difference was to save time was to go for like if we can't agree on round number 1 and round number 2, then the rest of the rounds will go to referee's grip, which is I think it's good. We welcome and value the input of all athletes and fans. We'll continue to work toward maintaining a positive and professional environment for all athletes and fans. Thank you for your continued support of EV Sports. So this is at least we know like Baku will not happen. EV Shaw Classic will happen. Engin is involved at some capacity. They're working on, you know, trying to do something and either bring Engin back or at least make an agreement with him. So probably if they can do that, then Some of the athletes that said they're leaving will probably come back. We'll see what happens there. So, yeah. But yeah, yeah. Mhm. All these stars. Okay, what I'm missing, we'll see after. Read the comments. 90 of fans do not want Engen back. Ray, what's cooler, 180 kilo curl or 67 kilo riser? Well, I think the curl now is way more impressive. I think both are impressive in their own ways. It's nice to have this clarity. Maybe Robert isn't confident of covering all these expenses of Baku with all the negativity that has been spread around since the last 3 weeks. I think it's different things than covering expenses. Um, yeah. So, as again, so the changes of the rules, there hasn't been any new, and I think those rules were what they're implemented. I don't remember Arlington or already in Tbilisi event. So, but that's the only rules change since Robert Baxter became the owner of EVW. So there hasn't been any other rule changes. And as we know, Shaw Classic is EVW event now. It wasn't before, but now it is. So it will follow EVW rules. Okay. As a diligent student, okay. Ray, there's isn't two sides to this, only one. Majority of fans don't want Engen back. If we are respected, then our voices should be heard. Do a poll. Yeah, let's do a poll. Let's see what you guys think. Let's see what you guys. Phoenix scam. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I would think it's reborn and burn it down or something like like what is a Phoenix scam? I want Google. Yeah, so we will see. Engen having any more than matchmaking responsibility is a mistake. I definitely don't want Engen back after all this. Workspace. Yeah. I think it will be very hard to figure out from the situation that went down how to move forward. But I think at least listen. I think they need to do something with Engen for sure. Like for sure. Whatever capacity it is, whatever capacity it doesn't anger the fans, but I think still has to be done something. I think with all the things that transpired, he is still the guy that created this league, that created the biggest promotion we have ever seen in arm wrestling. The thing that every athlete is so excited to be part of. So I think he deserves to get recognition for that, and maybe this wasn't the best way to leave this whole scene, but the situation it's not good. It's not good at all. From all the things that are transpiring and we're seeing around and everything, it's gonna be yeah. But he sold it. Yes, that's absolutely right. And sabotaged other leagues. Okay, Ozzy, you want to come on? Because Artem isn't responding to me, so I can get you on if you want, buddy. But again, I don't know if you watched from the beginning. I want you to say what you want to say, give an input, something, and if you don't have to be here, you can leave, and then we'll get someone on because I want Luke and I want to talk about the rules and probably want to have one-on-one conversation with Luke about the rules and some other stuff. So yeah, do I bring you in? Where's Ozzy? Where's JK? Okay. Okay. Get Travis on. Listen, if Travis wants to come on, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. I'll try to see who else is in the chat. If someone else, I'll send it. Like, let's have some discussions. Let's talk about, you know, expecting a lot of bias. Well, for sure. Like again, like I try to keep things away where it is personal problems, where like if I can put my personal, like I'm, for many of these things, I'm actually putting my personal problems aside and trying to talk with some sense into it. And if I can do it from all the things that's been happening with me, I think everyone can do it. So it doesn't matter what you don't like. There's still things to do. Boo boo. 5 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is Boo Boo. He's a global superstar. Yeah. Just also he's yeah. Oh Billy. Oh Billy. Oi. Oi. If Dexter couldn't deliver all Baxter's burgers without crashing the moped, how was he gonna run a pay-per-view? Stream died, fans got rinsed, and he not been seen since Engin shipped him back to China on Alibaba Express, no receipt. Yeah, but I don't think Dexter was in charge of the stream. That's as far as I know. He's doing some media stuff, but I don't know. I might be wrong. Yeah, yeah. El Gato. Yeah. Uh, every pay-per-view has had an issue, even with Engin. Well, I think the last event was just it was so many things went wrong. That was just terrible to watch. I like, and I'll be honest, guys. So every time I did an event, and if I was just involved. I wasn't part of like whatever. I'm not the sound guy. I'm not the camera guy. I'm not this. I felt like it's also. I felt bad. I felt extremely bad. So probably one of the worst pay-per-views, and the whole just the things that went down on KOTT was King of Table 12 or when Leonidas and Devon pulled. I think we lost connections and we had a different venue and everything. And I felt physically bad. I felt like I was really like depressed after it ended because I was like this is bad. Like I hate it. So I do believe we put on standards and we can go back on our standards at this point. You can go back. You can go back. We can just move forward. Then EVW changed the stream and the streaming platform and everything, and that we saw a lot of improvements that fans actually, looking really liked. But yeah, Sandri's looking old as fuck. So I will, whatever is growing out of my face, I will leave this until Armwrestling, until this drama gets fixed. So yeah. False propaganda. Sanders is like all like he just got his birthday was yesterday. Come on, dude. It's like he's old. Yeah. So Luke, if you're watching, I'll have Ozzy on. He said, "Give me 5 minutes. I won't stay on for too long." So he will come on and because I want to know what is the situation right now, and I actually want to know if he was like, yeah. Listen, if Engin wants to come on, it's not a problem. He can come on, and tell if there is, tell like I don't think Engin. I don't think anyone from management actually. I was thinking maybe I should invite Baxter, Robert Baxter, or maybe even Dexter, or. But no, those things should be handled behind closed doors, and there should be something handled. Yeah. Hey, Jake.
G'day, mate. How are ya?
I'm okay. Stop screaming at me, okay?
I know, poor Ray. You've had to share hotel rooms with me, commentary booths with me, translations with me. You poor sucker.
Yes, yes. I'm
Ray,
trying.
how can we make it all make sense? There's so many avenues of this why it doesn't make sense. First of all, I just want to know why a particular person is a protected species with shitty behaviour. So, like, everyone hammers on Devon. They don't like his behaviour on the table. They go hard. They make videos and everything like that. When Ryan Bowen did the whole weight cut thing with Tom Holland, everyone came with the pitchforks, Uncle John with the javelin, and so on and so on. So then why, when I make a reaction video about a video shared upon the internet,
Yeah.
I become the bad guy for calling out shitty behaviour, which I've done for years.
But did there was like a real blowback? Like, did people like, oh, you did this and you shared this, or what were the comments?
Jamil Jablonski rang me like 8 times. Oh, you're gonna ruin arm wrestling. You're gonna kill it. Oh, don't. Please delete it.
I
Oh,
saw
no.
one guy sent me on Instagram. He sent me a screen recording, and it like on their Facebook post and something, and then you shared those messages, and Camille
No,
shared some.
he shared them.
Yeah, and the thing that kind of struck me very interestingly was he's like, did Devon ask you to do this?
Yeah.
I'll ask you because I have the same answer. Because Devon ever asked you to make any kind of videos?
No. No,
Exactly.
Ray. For those that are following me carefully, and probably people are sick of me hearing the beating the same drum. I sat there and fought with my wife and watched her beat cancer during the most lockdown state in the world when it was going on. Plus, I didn't, people might not like me. People say my mic's too loud. Okay,
Your mic's too loud. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll see if there's some. I've never used Riverside before, so
Yeah.
okay. Hang on. Is that better now, guys? Is that better?
I hear you better. Yeah, it's not so loud. Probably the difference between you and me was just. But also, that's how we speak. That's how we
But
speak.
yeah,
If Jake lands, doesn't matter where I am. I know he landed in that country.
yeah. Now I thought, yeah. I beat my government. I lost work for fighting what I think is right. And what people don't know is I've been getting aggressive, borderline abusive messages from East versus West 1. This isn't a new thing. From East versus West 1. And Ray, you were there in Dubai. I tried hard when you had a match at King of the Table. I was nice. I tried working together. I was professional and things like that. You were there.
Yes.
So, and throughout the years, I've tried working. So, for this, I just don't understand why it's a protected species at anything. But I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't call someone up and abuse them over a Facebook post. Come on now.
I just think it's from the legal side because it is a conversation that's being recorded, and if
That's got nothing to do with me. I
you
saw it on.
because you just reacted to it, right?
I just reacted, said that you can't do that, mate. I saw it on Facebook, on multiple pages. I saw it on YouTube, and I saw it on Instagram. The thing that I did was find out if it wasn't AI. Because the video I used, there was like a talking head and things like that. So I found out if it was real. And all I did was a reaction video, Ray. That's all I did. I didn't leak anything. It was out there.
Mm-hmm.
It was out there for days.
Yeah.
So me, no, nothing.
So what is the situation now with your channel?
So I have counted. So I got a whole heap of copyright strikes. Um, whole heap of copyright strikes, and I was quite lucky. I won't mention what mistake they made, but I was very lucky they made some mistakes, so the channel hasn't been shut down. So I have counterclaimed them. I believe they're under fair use, and if they're not, well, lesson learned. Um, lesson learnt there. So then I know maybe my editing was lazy, but this was from videos like 2 years ago,
Yes.
18
Yeah.
months, 2 years ago.
So I want to ask because I didn't see it, but from yesterday I saw a lot of comments about when you did a podcast with Kamil. Okay,
Yeah,
so I saw a lot of things, and I just want to ask because I understand. Like, listen, Devon has been calling names and bullying Kamil for quite some time, so I understand he's angry. But
yes,
is any of the points, let's say, that he made based on facts or it just based on feelings?
feelings,
Feelings.
100%. Camille just buried the Europeans ridiculously. So he came on, and I'll be paraphrasing here. He came on and was complaining about his match with Monster Michael Todd. Was complaining with his maybe Vitali, but either way, it came down to the refereeing, and Haristo was the ref, and somehow it was all Devon's fault. So the three matches he complained about, mate,
Yeah.
it was
You guys, I don't know if I'm still here or did my internet broke down or Jake's did broke down. I think Jake's broke down. So
unbelievable.
probably, yeah. Okay. Did you just get shut down? So I just lost you for. Is it me, guys?
Saying yeah, he was complaining hard. He left because of three matches of the rule set, and then I was explaining to him, but that was your mate's rule set. That was your mate's handpicked referees, and then he just went blank and computed and still found it a way to make
Yeah,
it.
I don't get a lot of those points where they say like, we need to be protected from Devon, and then I can ask like, so do you think he was cheating before? If you like, it was cheating before, and they say yes. I was like, who's in charge?
Yeah, and and
The,
and you've got two
the,
referees at the closest spot. So how is it cheating? If it's cheating, the refs should call it, which were handpicked by someone else.
yeah, I think there's a problem for sure with how things are happening on the table, but there is absolutely somewhere huge amount of miscommunication happening right there between the
Yeah,
refs and the management and everything else. I think if referees are more independent and they know what to do and they're trained on this set of rules, I think everyone can do much better and much fair and wouldn't be any of those issues. But we'll see.
so then, one thing I'll ask you, Ray, is why is there such a panic to bring him back and the Europeans back? Why is there this mad panic that if we even run one event without them, like arm wrestling will swallow itself up? Why can't we just try for 6 months? Why can't EVW Sports have a go and run three events with the athletes that didn't quit? Because I'd be in the business of not really trusting them anymore, because as soon as something didn't go their way, they've just all left. So why can't we have three events?
I
Work on
think,
Devon Vitali for February, March, or something like that. Let's
yeah.
see if Brian Shaw can bring us new people. Let's give those range 15 to 30 that believe that they're the superstars that they are. Let's give them a platform now to put on exciting matches, to show that they're there ready to take on the gatekeepers.
I think you are absolutely right, but I also don't think that East actually left. I think as soon as you offer them a match, they will be like,
Yeah,
oh, like I think if you like, because then there's going to be consequences. A lot of people think there's not going to be any consequences to their actions, so they are burning the league. They're burning the league. And you have to understand it, it's still the biggest promotion in arm wrestling. And they can continue however they want and they will still have fans. What I heard a lot of times is how people, we don't need Devon and everything. Do an event without Devon. Do 5 events without Devon. See how that works out. See how that works out.
Just go look at EVW's YouTube channel and tell me what the top 12
Yes.
videos are.
Yes. Yes. Probably on my channel and your channel too. If we talk about Devon, that's right there up top for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's, yeah, and it's just,
I listen. In my opinion, and we know this, you call him cash cow all the time. You call Devon
he's a cash cow.
He's a cash cow. So, but we need to understand it that like athletes, you don't have to like him. You can really hate him and dislike him. But you have to understand where the money is coming from and who is generating the most interest, the most money, the everything. You don't have to suck him off for that. It's fine, but pretending it doesn't exist is absolute madness and a lie.
Yeah. But, mate, I was, when I went to Tim Talmadge's event, I had to go into Canada first. And the guy at immigration, why are you here? I said, I'm here for an arm wrestling tournament. And he goes, oh, that's the thing that Devon guy does. Like, this is Canada's immigration. The guy at my local shop, I was wearing an arm wrestling shirt, and he's like, oh, arm wrestling, do you know that guy, that Devon? Devon, do you know him? So, yeah. Look, I've got no problem with people taking a stand, because that's what I have done, and I have done for years, because I've experienced a lot of behind-the-scenes madness. You were there at King of the Table 12. That was sabotaging at its finest. But if it's done on your own accord, everything that I've done is my own accord. Ray, you've even rang me in the past and tried to guide me in the right direction, because I've maybe flown off the handle. Now, I'm not saying I'm right every time, but no one has asked me to make any video. No one has asked me to leak anything. If anything, a lot of people, yourself included, Ray, have rang me and messaged me and gone, maybe not that one, or maybe take that video down, and things like that. Even you've been ordered to ask me to take a video down in the past.
Yes.
From your mate.
Yeah. I listen, like, and I was whatever stance we take, we live with the consequences, right?
That's right.
Yeah. And I'm like, you've been you all the time, and I think it's some things, like, of course, everything will get on someone's nerves, and it's absolutely.
I get on your nerves, Ray.
No, you actually don't. No. Jake's pretty okay, when the cameras are not around. Like, yeah. Jake, when there's no cameras, nothing, he's like, hey, dude, how you doing?
Good eye, Ray.
Yeah.
There you
go.
But
no, I've been in a position in the past where I thought I was doing the right thing, where I thought in the moment I was absolutely doing the right thing. A lot of times people were also criticizing me when I took a stand, like very, very strong stand with Engin. And sometimes I really believe that stand. I was like, I think the same thing. I really think this is why I'm doing it. There was no influence from outside, because everyone can think, But I also been in the positions where I have to take things down. Yeah. Everyone knows it. It's that none of these things are secret. All these things are out there. Everyone knows these things. You know.
It's and that's why I just find it like, what's good for the geese is good for the gander. Like, if people are going to come out and have real shitty behaviour, then it's got to be called out. Like, people call out my behaviour. People call out your behaviour. you know. But if we call out one particular person's behaviour, that's sacrilege or something like that.
I think we kind of passed that at this point. I think we're
Mm,
past that. I think
yeah.
I think all the things that transpired between EVW and Engen, people don't like it. You can see, I just made a poll, and the poll is like, do you want Engen back? And 1,100 people have voted, and 27% says yes. So
Yeah, but
that that's
that's not 250 likes on a Facebook comment, Ray. Come on now. No, but it's for me, if health was becoming an issue and you really wanted to sell it, I think the the getting Robert involved and selling is with what my opinion is of the initial reason why he's brought in has backfired. So then, if health is becoming an issue, so first and foremost, I don't want anyone to die. I don't want violence on anyone. But if that's an issue, go take 6 months off. Go take a year off. Enjoy the fruits of your loins. Go sit on your big pile of cash and go swimming and go on holidays and things like that. Get your blood pressure a bit down, and then maybe come back. 2, maybe admit that you've done something wrong and apologise. You know, that was the first thing I did when you when you told me Levan wasn't in a Kings move. I admitted that I was wrong.
yeah. He packed his bags and went away. He's like, I guess. Yeah.
We laughed about it and we move on. Don't be silencing people and attacking people and things like that. Just come out and just say, yeah, probably not my best moment. I do apologise. Let's hope we can move on. Instead, it's mental gymnastics, and it's just not good. It's just not good.
I agree. I agree. Like take it again. Take a stance, right? Take a stance. And if you took that stance, then be ready for that stance. You know.
Yeah, and I always am for everything, for everything. You've seen me, you know, and other athletes and that have seen me when I've, you know, spoke my mind that disagreed with everyone, but I took that stance. Like I even cussed out people in front of all the athletes at King of the Table. I've cussed out people and went, no, this is wrong. It wasn't you, Ray.
Yeah.
But I went,
No, you were angry at someone else, but you also turned it. Also, fuck you, Ray. And I was like,
yeah, get away.
And we
Get
were
away.
staying in the same room. We went up together in the same elevator. I was like,
Yeah. But I tell you, it was that King of the Table, and everyone was there and on eggshells and not sure what to do. And I went, no, fuck him. No, if he's going to treat you and everyone else like dog shit and send you abusive messages, no, fuck him. That's not right. I don't stand for that. Talk to each other like a man. Fuck him. I didn't care if all the elite athletes are in the same room with me. Fire me. I don't care. But at the end of the day, like you said it, Ray, you have spent a lot of time with me in the arm wrestling world, and a lot more than the majority of people. It's probably you, Ryan Bowen, and Uncle John. And I know they're not the most favourite people in the world, but you've spent a lot of time with me. So you know that, like, this is, unfortunately or fortunately, this is just who I am. This is what I do. If I don't like the behaviour, it goes.
people are saying in the chat that Vitaly will pull Devon in Shaw Classics. They just made an arrangement.
What?
That's good.
Where's the Vitaly? I'm going on Instagram.
Is it on Instagram? Do you think it's on Instagram?
I don't know.
Yeah. How's your Russian?
Yeah, but they're pretty good with subtitles. No, it's just Vitaly and Dave on Instagram. Did EVW Sports say something?
On Instagram, guys, where is the PS?
Yeah, where's your source?
Oh, okay. But someone just seen a vid. Vitaly says he will fight at Shaw Classics. Larry Clemens. Pay-per-view match idea, Coach Lake. Pay-per-view match idea. Devon versus Coach Ray's beard.
I know you've aged immensely with this, and what people don't understand.
That's actually, I think I have. Like,
Yeah, and
like, guys, you don't understand it. It burdens my fucking soul, like
but not
crazy.
only for your love of arm wrestling, but what people don't understand is when we spend, and you've spent more time than probably anyone with all the athletes. We have breakfast with them. We have meals with them. We meet their families. When the cameras come off, we're spending time with them after the event. We had that party bus on the way back from King of the Table 12. We share moments, and these people become our friends. So sometimes when they say, Ozzy, you're sitting on the fence, or Ray, you're sitting on the fence, it's because you got both friends in the gunfight.
Yes.
Like not just athletes, like you've spent a lot of time with Hermes Gasparini.
Yes.
He is your friend. You've spent a lot of time with Devon Larratt.
Yes.
He is your friend.
They
so
don't
it
get
is very
along.
hard when two of your friends.
And they don't get along. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So when when it comes to push and shove, it is hard when it's both of your friends going head to head. So
Yeah.
but
I think it's it is, like I said, there's nothing black and white. It's a little bit in the gray. Your honest opinion. So right now, like they are working to do something with Engin. Do you think they need to bring Engin back?
Nope.
No.
Not now.
I know. You have personal deep dislike.
No, not now. Not now. Let him have a holiday. Let him go. Let's see, right? First of all, if the rumours and everything are true and he organised, I'm saying if he organised the boycott and has gone in hard to really hurt the business, that would be one reason why I wouldn't bring him back. But two, let's see if absence makes the heart grow fonder. Like I mentioned earlier. Have a break, mate. Go away. Go away for a bit. See if the Brian Shaw way and the Eddie Hall way and the new way, the new version of EVW, because it's always going to be arm wrestling. There's this mad panic, like the sport of arm wrestling will burn to the ground if we don't get everyone back together by the next event. No, that's nonsense. That is absolute nonsense. Let's all tune into the Shaw Classic and let's see if you truly, the fans, if you truly love the sport, then you'll buy the Shaw Classic pay-per-view, regardless. If
maybe to make a stand, maybe to make a stand, right?
Let's see, and I don't like the behaviours. I don't like the behaviours of some people when they claim that they love arm wrestling. And I've been watching these behaviours for years. So this isn't a new thing for me, everyone. This has been going since the very first EVW. The very first. We're up to 19. So I've got it all. And yeah, so not now. Not now. And then if he is the great matchmaker that everyone says, and the matches are declining and the matches aren't entertaining at all, we're not finding out who 10 to 12 is or who can break the top 10 or the event pay-per-views are going down, then in 6 to 12 months, let's go. People come and go all the time. But no, I wouldn't do it now. No. Not after this behaviour.
Yeah, I think how all thing went down.
Nope. I wouldn't trust it.
Yes.
I'm only coming back if I get all my own way. Now,
I understand, like everyone can have their own reasons. Everyone can have but I just think it's just the way it went down. It was terribly bad. Devon even says like criminal. I don't know how I would feel if I was the owner of the league, and like you would work for me, and then you would work for me, and you leave, and you take half of the crew with you.
And you're supposed to be friends, and you're supposed to be long life mates.
Yeah.
But I'll say two things, and then I'll hop off. You get someone else on here. Appreciate your time, Ray. I said it yesterday. Two things can fix the whole thing. Well, even only one thing. Probably just make a little video and go. Oh, there you go. Dexter says internally, I haven't received confirmation that Vitali will come to Colorado. That's from Dexter.
That's from Dexter.
No, he says I haven't received
I haven't.
confirmation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Someone said it's on Brazilian arm wrestlers channel. Vitali accepts pulling Devon at Shaw Classic. 1 minute 11.
are you watching the video now?
Okay. If Dexter is saying it's not confirmed, then probably it's not confirmed.
Yeah. So for me, this all could have blown over in two ways. One, probably just make a little video and go, that wasn't my best behavior. I do apologize. Probably shouldn't have gone off like that. Sorry. Right. Number one. Number two, if it wasn't an organised and a sabotage and the European athletes left on their own accord, and if you truly love the sport of arm wrestling, wouldn't you just ring them all and say, don't leave, stick with it, I'll work it out with management. He's my lifelong friend. Emotions are running high. Don't quit. Don't quit. Please stay. Delete your post. Say that you made a mistake and you get to stick with it and go from there. If you love the sport that much, that's my opinion. And all of this could have gone away.
He's absolutely right. Absolutely right. And I know Neil Pickup was saying the same thing. Neil Pickup was even saying to some of the athletes, he's like, get back. This is not the way to do it. Get them all back, you know. So.
Yeah, and then all of this could have been done. I would have gone there and I would have praised. I would have gone, what a badass move to do that. What a badass move for him. How good is that? He truly does love the sport. What an awesome move. My view is changed. I know we're probably past that now, but if that had happened straight away, man, I would have just gone, maybe I've been wrong. Maybe I've been wrong this whole time. Maybe I was wrong about these abusive messages. But anyway, let's see. Let's see what happens. Yeah, always love chatting with you, Ray.
Thanks for coming on.
You look 55 years old now. You look older than me.
Yeah, it's been. I listen. I really feel it. Like I think.
I know. I can tell. You can see it.
Yeah. I've been. This sucks. This sucks, and I feel like people will see the true faces of the people after all this, and they will understand everything much better. And the whole reason I am here and doing this is try to bridge the gap. So if there's flaw in your arguments, come on, give me your arguments. If there's no flaw in your arguments, everyone will understand arguments, right? It's very fucking easy.
Yeah, Matt, I've been saying it, and you've been saying it. Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Yes.
Because I'm always happy to admit if I'm wrong. I'm always happy to admit it. That's why I love both sides of the argument on my channel. I don't ban anyone. I don't delete comments. I'm like, I'll read something and go, oh, wow. I never thought of it that way. You could be right. But
I'll be honest. Some guy said, like, you will never grow a beard, and I banned you.
And yeah, so just to be clear,
for everyone to know, it was Giannis.
Yeah. But yeah, just to be clear, for me personally, I've been being attacked since the very first EVW1. So this isn't a new thing. This isn't because they bought King of the Table. I'm no longer there. I love being at home. I love being with my family. And two, I just made a reaction video of a video that was out there on the interwebs.
Thank you, Jake. I appreciate you.
All right, guys, have a good one.
Yeah. Um, yeah. It was nice having Jake on. Listen, I was also thinking today, and I wanted to see like, okay, so West athletes is that they moved away, and like, we think, what are they, do they have demands? Sorry, East athletes, do they have demands for the whole situation, or it just, like they feel that they're gonna get screwed over because Engen is not there, right? I understand like the worries and everything, but do they have demands? And because I think they really, at this point, I actually do think they're harming arm wrestling. They're harming arm wrestling. They're harming the fans. They're harming the whole situation by, in my opinion, just being disingenuous. And they're harming themselves by attacking Devon or Devon's character rather than him as an arm wrestler with with just being emotional. Like if you just don't like Devon, just say that. Like I just fucking hate Devon. And that's it. And just say it. And it's fine, You can move along, And if your stance is like I will never pull on a league where if Devon is there, like maybe their stance is they want to get rid of Devon. If they get rid of Devon, we'll see. Like guys, I think there should be some. I really hope at this point, I hope Robert Baxter and Engen can come to agreement where we can find a solution to this. But I still think for most things that happened and transpired, there's gonna be consequences, either from the league or from you guys, from the watchers. I think there should be consequences. Maybe it's me being very biased that I think the sport that I love has suffered. You know, Artem Taranenko is not coming on. Luke, okay, Luke will join in like 20 minutes, so we'll see. Anyone else? Let's see who's in the chat. Maybe I missed someone. How's Travis Bajan as commissioner? Okay, Robert Baxter on the slide. We need more transparency. Yeah, is there anyone in the chat? So I missed a couple super chats. I want to read them out. So I was angry with what Engen booted Ray, but I won't be angry if the league boots Engen. But I won't be angry if the league boots Engen. Mark Aurel, invite Matt Rhodes. So yesterday I think I tried to get Matt. If Matt's there and he wants to join, come on up. Like, I don't know. Like, listen, guys. Yeah. What happens if Engen starts a new league? Will this supporters, athletes? So I hear a lot of talks about a second league. Okay. So if you make a second league and let's say you keep it more on east side of arm wrestling, right, and you keep it more with those athletes, how sustainable business model is that when we know where the most pay-per-views are coming from? As far as I know, it comes from North America and Central Europe. That's where the most. And I really believe most people are here just for Devon Larratt. Every time there's a event and Devon is not on the card, Devon's not pulling, I'm not watching. And it's like, people really, they just want to see Devon. So where the athletes see all the flaws, the audience sees something different. Audience see intrigue. Even now, everyone's watching these lives and talking about this because Devon is involved. If this would be just like you take out Devon out of equation and you put someone else in, it wouldn't get as many views, as many interest or anything. We all know this. So it's not a secret. And I don't know if all the athletes actually understand it. I think it's you have to understand it. You don't have to like him. You don't have to pretend that he's a god or something. Oh, thank you, Devon, for this up. No, you can be all the things you want to be, but you have to give props where props are due. And I do believe Devon has made this a viable business model. Probably the moment that made Hermes big was him pulling Devon. Probably the moment that made Levin big was him pulling Devon. It's just if I'm wrong, it's fine. I can admit I'm wrong. But do you guys think I'm wrong? I think it's everyone gets. If Devon would say like Ray, I want to pull you, I'll be like, let's go. I'll probably get 2 times more fans just from that. You know, will be a terrible experience, but yeah, yeah. How difficult is it to be matchmaker? Well, you have to understand. I think it's like, listen, Engin's knowledge about all the arm wrestlers and things. It's I think it's as high level as in my opinion. There's few people that really, when I talk with them, they understand and remember things really, really well. One of those guys is Giannis, Neil, and Engin. Like those guys, like and they remember the matches because they've been pulling everywhere and highest competitions, highest levels everywhere. So those guys would be like for that. But for matchmaking, I think a lot of matches. I think everyone kind of knows, and I think because Engin is an absolute fan of arm wrestling, I will never doubt that. And even Ozzy said like he wouldn't do this if he would really love the sport. I still think he loves the sport. I think he loves it tremendously. I think he loves it so much it hurts. I do like I can't take that away from man. I think it's the passion that he has is just unmatched. But I also think it can damage things when you go really far. Um, uh, don't know. Yeah, sorry, Timmy. Timmy, he's been messaging me. I thought maybe he wants to come on live, but yeah. Mindaugstar site is GOAT? Yes, absolutely. Oliver, Mr. Oliver, I miss the times when people just argue about who could lift more with pronation. Yes. Yes, yeah, yeah. Ma, interesting, interesting, interesting. Hmm. Well, okay, no problem, no problem. I just have to mind my own business, guys. That's pretty much what just happened. Um, yeah, we'll see. I want to get Luke on because I want to talk about refereeing and well, what is his thoughts about these things and maybe someone else. Yeah, yeah. Chin up, Ray. You're awesome. Remember the live stream with Devon Engin John B before 105 match. Engin was calling Devon a cheater for his entire career. You could see how it hurt Devon. Was that when the rift started? I don't know when the rifts actually started. I think we've always been a little bit back and forth with each other and fighting between them. But I think it's I don't know. Like I think also listen, Devin likes to push things. He likes to push things sometimes too far, and I think that also is a problem. You know, I don't know where the rift happened. I know it escalated on that King of the Table, where uh, where Morozov was supposed to pull Kurdecha, but Kurdecha pulled out because he got injured. So yeah, yeah, we'll see what happens now. So uh, I really want to see Artem Taranenko coming on because he had some opinions too, and I also saw Travis talking about this whole situation. Well, I really think like what we should be focusing on, and I just think it's like I think it's right now everything's gonna be probably done tomorrow, buried. Everything is done and buried, and and we just move along, with this. If they announce finally the matches and the event, and we move along, and arm wrestling is back where it was in 2024, East versus West is doing still their best. Like, listen, I've been doing a lot of thinking about all the things that are happening right now, and all the things that are happening, was happening before, and there's so many athletes that their whole dream is to get on that stage, and I think that achievement alone is absolutely amazing. That achievement is something really, really big, because imagine, like, there's so many things in arm wrestling you can do. You can become WAF champion. You can, some people start with national championships, continental championships, then there's WAF championships, then some promotions and everything. But some of the WAF champions were saying, like, all I want to be is on East versus West stage. They're just waiting for that call. They're just waiting for that invite. So the league alone, it just created so much buzz and so much for arm wrestlers to look forward to. And of course, it's good to make money with this, but there's a lot of guys and a lot of athletes that absolutely are not in it for the money. They, of course, if you pay them to arm wrestle, it's even better. They absolutely love it. But there's a lot of guys just they want to be the best. They want to show that they're the best. They want to get the opportunities, and uh, I think more people should embrace what happens when you become a big star, or at least get on that stage, because you will have more eyes on you. And yeah. Eastern athletes only saw Devon's evil side on competition, that hide all the good things he have done, and Engin took that turned them against. Sorry, Eastern athletes only saw Devon's evil side on competition, that hide all the good things he has done, and Engin took that to turn them against him. Well, everyone will always have their own perspective, right? And listen, if you get to pull Devon Larratt and he's across your table from you, and he's just like, it's not a good experience, what you gonna remember? You won't care that he's the most popular arm wrestler. You will just remember that experience. Yeah, yeah. Dexter, if you want to come on, I'll get you on. Woody, reminder, you're a great ambassador, mate. Thank you. Dexter is in the chat. Get him on. Emeritus Asperini, for a promoter to openly call a competitor a cheater is not good. Yeah. There are 5 confirmed matches. Yeah. Yeah. Hey Ray, how much money did you make with last 2 streams? I can start my own arm wrestling league with this one, for sure. For sure. Where are the athletes? Yeah. Yeah, Dexter, if you want to come on, send me a message. I don't know. Maybe you can give us some updates on what is happening, because East versus West has been very silent with all the things that are happening. Yeah, ego, John Milne. Ego is the root of all these problems. Yeah, listen, but there's a lot of ego in arm wrestling. I think every arm wrestler, very successful arm wrestler, all of them will have egos. I think it's inevitable. This arm wrestling is the feeling of you're the best, you're the number one, and of course these egos will absolutely clash, absolutely clash. Cool. So Dexter will join. Okay, Dexter. So this is Riverside. If you're from your phone, you have to download the app, and then you can you don't have to log in or register. Just click on it. If you're from computer, it will open the browser. So, yeah. Let's see if Dexter can give us some updates on some things and where is it moving forward to. If Devon would pull Vitali, that would be great. And like I said, they need to make some kind of thing with Engin, for sure, so we can move forward with all this. Let's see. Put away the pasta. People who say Devon controls the refs are dumb. Did you just ignore a message? Oh, sorry. For a promoter to openly call a competitor a cheater is not good. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. I was also disappointed at Hermes. Well, I think again, like a lot of people, they really felt like, listen, if you don't know all the facts, even if you know all the facts, there's things that feel right and feel wrong. Engin did create all this. He did, he really created all this, and then he's out of it. I feel it is very wrong. I feel like it is very, very wrong. Um, but it's, you know, Steve will not do it. If Engin is at all involved, I won't spend another dime. I will use free streams. I would like to power slap that guy. Most of Europeans can be replaced with robots, divas with no personality. Thanks. Yeah, this is listen, guys. This has created big divide. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yesterday we talked with Aramis. I said him if he wants to come on, like he can come on. Like it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Like not a problem. But I said if you want to come on and say something, and like, but no. Hmm. Okay, let's see Dexter if he comes on. At least we can maybe get some updates about the event and everything else, and you know, it's that toxic attitude that's the problem. Hey Dexter.
Hey,
Hey.
all right, it's 4 a.m., so I probably don't want to stay too long. I know you have other guests as well. I'm actually on bed right now.
Where are you? Where are you?
I just got back to Malaysia yesterday.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give us some updates? What is happening? As much as you can say, maybe for the people.
And I apologize for the radio silence because as we are trying to negotiate, and it's not really negotiate, it's more like coming to a new agreement with Ingrid. Um, I didn't want to stir the pot really. I didn't want to add any fuel to the fire if there was, and I just didn't want to say the accidentally say the wrong thing. We're still all for transparency, but ultimately, I just want to stay a little bit, give Robert and Ingen some distance to make sure they can go ahead and talk without any external influence, and we actually came to we actually verbally there was an agreement. I think Ingen even posted a video last week, but I think the phone call from that was leaked from Ted. No, not blaming anybody. That set us back a couple of days, unfortunately. But this morning, we released an official statement that has been gone through several vetting. Matter of fact, I think Ingen also had a look at that statement prior to its release, and so we made modifications and whatnot. So that is true. Um, Baku August 2nd, it's unlikely to happen now because it's too close to our event date. And it's not fair to the athletes where they train and prepare so hard. And we just don't want to throw an event together um, and
Into
have no in-person crowd because the energy is not there. And sometimes some athlete feeds off that in-person energy,
mhm.
and so we felt like, well, okay, let's go back to the drawing board. We are very all for to keeping the matches, but we are saying, what if we just delayed it a little bit in a couple of weeks, maybe the end of August. That's so everybody's still within that time frame without messing things too much. We had a great phone call with Brian Shaw and his lovely wife Carrie Shaw, and so that event's going forward. But for Baku, we are trying to keep every match possible. Um, we are trying our best to now. So a little bit backstory. What was cool is that somebody in the senator's office is a big arm wrestling fan, and previously, you know, and I'll be honest, internally we had a discussion. Well, we are close with the senator, but we don't want to abuse his relationship and do an open invitation to everybody for a visa and use his influence on every athlete out there. So we were keeping it obviously for the king. So we used it for Levant, and so happened Irakli was there. It was just easy to add another name. But this time, we literally have an arm wrestling fan within his office. And he says, whoever you need, doesn't matter from what country they are, we'll get it to you. Right. So then we were like, oh, well, we have a long list of athletes. Matter of fact, we want all the Europeans who we want to pull in America. So that's kind of a new thing that happened. And I just want to reiterate, people need to realize that I'm Asian. I don't hold an American passport. I'm technically from the East. So if you really think about it, right? Robert's the West. I'm the East.
Yeah.
So I just want to clarify that, right? I'm the East. I'm for the
Far
East.
East.
So
That's very Far East, right? Far
still
East.
the East. Still,
Still East.
still,
Yeah.
still the
Yeah.
East,
Yeah.
because I was really talking to a lot of people, and there's a lot of similarities with our cultures, and that people don't really understand, right? Now we have a lot of things for respect. Now I'll give you an example, right? I call my older brother by not his name, but by his rank. So I'll call my older brother, hey, eldest brother, or hey, second brother in
Hmm.
our own language, right? I call my uncle based on his rank. I call my and certain there are certain taboo things like I if everybody's at the dinner table, we don't start eating until the elders person picks up the chopstick and starts eating first, right?
Hmm.
There's a lot of things that we do. And it's very similar to how the East is all about power and all about respect. So I get that part. I get that part. So when people say it's like, oh, it's all the West, it's all modern. Like I feel like yes, I did spend a lot of time in the West. I struggle between both, right? So just I think people need to know that. But uh, yeah, so that's kind of the update. We have been progressing. Uh, Robert had I think a 5 hour phone call with Ingen yesterday. I think Robert went to bed at like 4:30 a.m. It
Hmm.
it and it ended really well, uh, and I think it's a positive outlook for the league. Now, here's I know there's a lot of like turmoil and confusion in the community, but I'll say this though. I've been traveling around. I was just in Thailand over the weekend, and here's what I found with a lot of the arm wrestlers. This is I've never been so interested in arm wrestling as I have right now because of the drama, and I'm drawn to it. And I know I'm not trying
It's terrible.
we'll make fake. It's not that this beef between, Devin and Ingen is all fake. No, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying maybe we can make lemons, no, lemonade out of lemons right now, right? With all this turmoil, I think when Devin pulls Vitali, there's a extra backstory that's attached to it right now, and I think people would really appreciate that match more than ever. So
Are you trying to get that match on Shaw Classic, or are you gonna leave it for later?
we are still trying to do that. It's kind of a chicken or an egg problem because on one hand, um, we are trying to sort of do an agreement with a renewed agreement with England, uh, where he gets to keep some of his, all his responsibilities like matchmaking and whatnot,
Hmm.
but in exchange that, maybe
Uh, I think I lost you, Dexter. Guys,
Oh, sorry. Yeah. All right. Sorry. This is stupid wall right here that kind of blocks that thing. But yeah. So there is this component of why contract more tricky
hmm
is when somebody says I'm over arm wrestling. Well, if the whole company's arm wrestling, are you over the whole company, right? Or should I say, hey, I'm over English because I have better English. So if you're speaking English, then I'm over everything, right? So it's well, ultimately what I'm saying. It's kind of there's a lot of gray area because it kind of overlaps arm wrestling, social media,
hmm
media is arm wrestling, right? So I think part of the contract is to clarify and remove more of the gray areas. I think that's
hmm
essentially what it is. It's trying to remove less gray area and more black and white
yeah.
to clarify the roles. But I'll say this though. Ingen has actually expressed multiple times that he does have big intentions to take a step back from management. Um, and by no means that's us forcing him out. He has really expressed that. Like he actually told Robert that he wants to figure out a way where he can step back and make sure that the league is in good hands. Now, to clarify, I know it has been said time and time again, Devon does not own any part of the company. He owns zero. He has zero control over the company. Now, I'll be honest, he has influence, but so does Levant, so does Ormus, so does even you, Ray. You're not even polling actively in our event, but you also have influence. The fans have influence on our decision making, right? So everybody has influence. It's it's
I think
only
I
whether
think
somebody wants to express.
Devon has aura. He has aura, right, around him. So people will listen more when he says something because of who he is, right? So I think that
Okay, so but here's also one thing. Unfortunately, is the speaking that the person who has a background in English has typically a stronger case for his arguments, right? Because he can just articulate his message a little bit better. And that is probably the handicap that the East has, unfortunately. But it's not like we're not willing to listen. If they would just be patient or they work through a translator with us, we're more than happy to take their concerns under advisement. So with that said, I told Robert, I says, look, what our new plan, uh, and you'll see shortly. Other than full match videos, I'm gonna do my best from the media standpoint to try to bring the East and West a little bit closer by having our videos translated in Russian as well. So for now, I'll have it in two languages. Maybe I'll start with subtitles. As
Mhm.
AI progress, maybe I'll use more and more of whatever the technology. I think Morozov and Kalini Tenko. I think they had one that like they kind of dubbed it as though they were speaking English perfectly. So I will start doing that. So I'm bridging the gap a little bit in terms of communication as best as I can. So the Russians can also watch our videos, any videos that we have, and learn more about our culture and vice versa. So that's kind of like the step that I think would be helpful if they can see what are we all about. And I also plead to all the athletes, the more they can uh, sort of speak English, that would be really helpful, not just for us, for management, but I think from a personal standpoint, on their personal standpoint. Like it reminds me, somebody reminded me, in UFC, who's all the famous guys, right? Who are the biggest revenue maker? Well, everybody thinks of Conor McGregor, right? Maybe Ronda Rousey, but people are forgetting like one of the top UFC fighter, and I think he holds like the longest world title. I think it was Anderson Silva, right?
Anderson Silva.
Or
Yeah,
Jose Aldo, right?
yeah.
Those guys are great, but they didn't make a lot of money. And unfortunately, because they couldn't market themselves, right? And we know to grow something requires an immense amount of investment. And I think a good investment on themselves is actually also learning how to speak English, so they can market themselves to the rest of the English speaking world as well, right? I'm doing my best to try to you know put our videos out to the Russians, and I hope the Eastern would also reciprocate and try to speak more English. That
Mhm.
that that that's kind of my hope for them.
I want to ask you. So the whole reason I'm doing these streams is because there
Yes,
was, in my opinion, just already two crazy personal attacks to Devon, where a lot of
sure.
people stated that Devon is the biggest problem in the whole league and everything else. And I was like, let's get someone on so they can put their position. If the position is valid, at least everyone will understand where it's coming from, or it's just coming from that we don't like Devon, or we don't like how Devon arm wrestles on the table. What your thoughts about this whole situation? Because this is the whole
Okay,
reason I'm here. I want to I want to have clarity. If people will understand clarity, we can move past everything.
I think there's a lot of and it's probably not proper for management to say this, but I think they need to be reminded they are who they are, and to a very big degree due to Devon, right? I'm the new guy. I'm still learning the history. I'm still figuring out. I'm watching old videos whenever I travel, but there are like tens of thousands of videos out there for me to watch. But Kalinichenko, Kamil Jablonski, they were nobody until they start pulling Devon. I think at Arm Wars, for instance, right? They really got a jump start through Devon, in my opinion. And I think they once they hit a certain level, they kind of forgot that Devon helped them. Devon talked about them all the time on his own channel as well, praised them on his own channel. And to now that they hit a certain degree of fame to their role, now they can turn around and says, "Oh, by the way, we don't like you." I feel it's a little bit hypocritical, in my opinion. I that that's one position. The second position, I think. Okay, maybe Ray, maybe I'll have a question for you because I'm kind of new to this, right? Because there's this talk about, well, we don't like games. I know Devin tries to do, some funny business while it's, you guys are gripping up or gripping up with his opponent. But if the ease, in my opinion, if the ease is just, the not just the ease. I mean, for anybody who thinks that the sport should be purely about sportsmanship, and if imagine that there's two athletes with pure sportsmanship, 100% sportsmanship, shouldn't the grip take less than 5 seconds because everybody would not have an advantage over the other? But for some reason, from my understanding, it feels like it's not. But maybe give me your thoughts on that.
Yes, people will every time small details. Then it's also not like referees have to check. So usually, if like if we both take super clean grip, which is very rarely, most of the time when two guys pull inside, they will just take a super clean grip because there's no fighting or pulling back. It will take like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and that's it. Um, I think all this could be done with a little stricter refereeing. Like referees just making decisions where they're not afraid to foul out Devon. And I would think like Devon wouldn't be against, like if you foul out Devon or you're strict refereeing Devon, like everyone will see it and everyone will understand what is happening. But you have to kind of clarify. You have to be you just have to do it. Let's say like this, you just have to do it. A lot of times they just like, okay, we can just kind of make it a little bit longer, and then it's like 7 minute to grip up, and I'm like, what the hell is going on, right? And
Correct.
it's who's allowing this? It's referees doing that. And I think referees, but again, are they, because Devon, he has this aura, like it's Everyone knows it. It's not a secret. Everyone knows that he has this aura. And you know you will have more eyes on you. So someone will say like, "Oh, Devon intimidates referees." Not intentionally, but just by being Devon, probably he is. Probably he is. But then
Oh,
some referees will be very strict with him, you know.
but so say like most boxing matches or like really MMA matches, usually the ref goes to, prior to them getting on the ring or the octagon, the refs will go to each locker room and will brief them about the rules. And do you know what every boxer or fighter would say? Hey, don't call the match early.
Yeah.
If I'm down, I'll get up fast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah. Let me fight.
They all intimidate. They
I know.
all intimidate the refs. They all tell the refs. I know. I think at one point Camille was, I think was Sergey was saying, "Oh yeah, Devin says, if my arm breaks, so be it, or whatever." Right? I
Yeah,
think that's kind of like the similar thing. Like, don't call it too early.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in the
Let us
arm
fight.
wrestling way,
Let us fight.
it's
Let us fight. Yeah, let
right.
us.
I I think it's similar. I think it's really similar. I
Yeah,
think in the MMA and boxing world, even the Easterns would also say the same thing. Don't call
yeah.
it too early.
Don't call it too early.
I'll get up, right? So I don't know if Devin is supposed to be blamed for that. I think maybe the sport hasn't evolved. The arm wrestling hasn't evolved to that point of
Yeah.
maturity yet to match them. I don't know. Again, I'm never gonna pretend that like I'm an arm wrestler, but I'm just my goal is I'm coming from a different perspective of watching and studying how we can incorporate some elements, not all elements, some elements of what made UFC successful and bring it into arm wrestling and see how we can take us to the next level. And I might be wrong, and I really hope that the community and fans can guide us. That's the best I can do.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Listen, Dexter, thank you. You don't have to be on here more. I'm gonna get Luke on for a little bit, and thank you for being. Listen, there was some um, diligent student, Dexter. You don't care about transparency like EVW promised. Majority don't want Engin back, yet you guys brought him back. No accountability for his mistakes.
Okay, there was also an internal discussion in my head, right? All these athletes, like Camille specifically, right? I have my own personal thoughts about him. Well, with Kalinichenko, especially Kalinichenko, like to be frank, I'm quite surprised about his messages lately. I personally helped him with his visa application. I spent time going through everything. I know his very personal details because when they fill those out, I review them. And then for him to kind of start attacking and everything. But here's what I'll say though, right? I think in the effort of also being transparent, uh people can talk bad about me, they can say Dexter is an idiot, like Robert says, and we won't ban them. Same goes with athletes. But couldn't I just extend that sentiment of forgiveness to Ingen, right? So even athletes, what I'm saying
I
is
also
even
think
athletes who attacked us.
compromises need to be made, right? Compromises are needed to be made, and
Right. And,
sometimes
and and if athletes attack us, uh, am I gonna ban them? My personal opinion, and I'll tell Robert, and I'll share the same sentiment. No, I mean, like, they're just expressing their current information, based on the current information they have, right? And
that's
and
actually good to
I
know.
told Robert, like, in the beginning of this thing, let's kill them with kindness.
Yeah.
Let's not turn around and say, like, if you do continue this, you'll be banned from East versus West forever.
Mhm.
We never once said that. We'll never say that. We'll and honestly, to be super honest though, and here's from a really outside perspective, arm wrestling community is still really small. If you start banning everybody, there's not many people left. That's all I have to say.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
So, well, thanks, Ray. It's
Thank you, Dexter.
4:30 a.m. here. I might do a video tomorrow, but to explain a
Yeah.
bit more. But
Yeah.
thanks. Good luck,
Good
guys.
luck. Good luck. Bye.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. We'll see if someone else joins. Engin just posted A video, Zenzu. Engin just posted a video 10 minutes ago. Again, he said he's willing to come back if his conditions are accepted. Yeah, from the comments I see that no one's really happy about that. I think guys, like, compromises are still need to be made, in my opinion. And like I said, everyone, I think it would be wrong if he wouldn't he wouldn't get what, like, I think he did something great for our sport. Not just good, something great. I don't like the way it ended now, and how things get conducted here. Um, not like, I just don't like it. What can I say? I don't like it. I think it's not good. But I think he deserves a place there for the things that he did absolutely right. And a lot of times me and Engin, we didn't agree on things, but he was right. Like, what can I say? Like, he was right. He did some decisions very well, and brought the sport to unbelievable heights. Absolutely. Oh shit. Yeah, Luke. Yeah, I'm gonna sending you a link. Yeah. Let's see, Luke. Luke comes on. We continue this party for a little bit longer. It's an hour and a half already, but probably. I want to hear, like, listen. I think. Okay, let's get Luke, and then we'll talk. Then we'll talk. Yeah. So, hashtag pay Alishan his 50,000. Ray needs a secretary. Respond non-essential boy. Ray thoughts on turkey as chicken alternative. We need Terzi. Ray. Ray, no. Engin is not needed. No. Okay. Luke is 120 years old, so he needs me to send it to his email. I'm kidding. Don't get mad. Give me a second. Where is it? Amazing. Okay, look, I think you got, I send you an email. Check it out, please. To look. Yeah. I think we can remove this. It's been on for too long. I think we're past this. Get Jerry on here. No chance show. Eastern should compete with West or go back to the Dark Dungeons. Listen, we need competition with East versus West, with the best of North America and the best of Asia, best of the European, everywhere where arm wrestling is coming along. I think also India right now is a very big market. Not only like they're just going and doing insane things, and I also think they have a lot of good athletes that can absolutely reach really high levels in our sport. So yeah. Hey Luke.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good as I can be. I age by 100 years here. Um,
Trying to get it switched to my other camera, but I don't think it's gonna. So I'll look over here.
it's fine, guys. Can you hear Luke? Can you see Luke? Let me know. Um, I'll read one super chat before we move on. Devon haters will always be Devon haters. Let's agree to disagree and move on. I agree. Yeah. Uh, okay, Luke. I've been very critical about reffing, but I also understand, like, referees. It's a very tough job, and I think some, like, what I see a lot of times is inconsistencies between referees. between the calls.
Okay, so before we jump into the refereeing, I want to say that I wanted it to my email, not because I'm 150 years old, because I thought you expected a professional camera look versus a phone.
No, I wanted phone. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So, I mean, the inconsistency in reffing is it is the hardest hurdle to overcome in reffing, because first of all, if you start at WAF as the standard rule set that everything else bases itself off of, the rules are written very poorly. They're put together. They're written by groups of people that don't all speak the same language, and they're kind of
A lot of interpretation, right?
a lot of interpretation. They're kind of cobbled together, and you even get what I would consider some of the best referees out there sitting in a room discussing a rule, and they view how that rule is supposed to be implemented differently. So that's a huge problem. The solution, which one would think would be pretty easy, is just come to a consensus on how that rule should be called, and then you just make a statement that this is how the rule works and everybody follows it, is really good, except we, in the referee world, at that level of trying to make those decisions, there is a lot of ego that you have to get through to get everybody on the same page, because there are people in that group that just have a very strong desire to be right. Like, it has to be my interpretation because I'm just right. And that is not a great way to go about collaboration or compromise. I was taught a long time ago by a person that a lot of times in life you have the choice to be right or to move forward to come to a good solution, and you don't always get to do both. And that is probably the biggest hurdle in getting a consensus on how the rules should be written, how the rules should be enforced, is somebody's going to have to be wrong in order to get everybody to agree, and nobody wants to be wrong. So when you start at just the base level of the rule set that starts at WAF, it's very challenging. And then when you do come to a census, it has to go back to the rules committee, be okayed, go to Congress, get voted on. You're a year out all the time from being able to make a rule upgrade at the WAF level. Now, I do know that there is some work being done there to streamline that and make it better, but it's not there yet. So now let's take that to a promotion like the Monster Factory. Okay, Monster Factory used WAF as its base rule set, and then we used a version of running fouls from there. I won't say we used Neil's running fouls, because I know what we did wasn't exactly Arm Wars, but it was closer to Arm Wars than it was anything else.
Yeah.
That was very easy to have a consistent rule set done the same way with the referees on the same page, because I was not that I was the best, but I was the only head ref they had. I got to pick my downside refs. I trained my downside refs. So we were all just in agreement on how we were going to do it. So if you go back and you watch the Monster Factory stuff, you'll see that there really wasn't a lot of complaining about rules and calls and this and that. Not that we got everything perfect, not that there weren't mistakes made, because there always is, but everybody was on the same page. From Mike to Rebecca to myself as the head ref, to the downside ref, to the film crew, on what we needed to see if we were going to use a video review. It was all very easy because there was very, very few people involved in the decision-making process. Okay, so now you go to East versus West, and you have taken what are very good referees from the WAF system, which is very strict, and putting them in a very non-strict situation and expect them to do well. And that is an unrealistic expectation, in my opinion. To take someone that has only really ever done strict rules the WAF way and help them understand that a little bobble of an elbow we don't call, because at this promotion, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to say that an elbow foul doesn't matter in the sport. I'm going to say that at East versus West, that little bouncing around doesn't matter. That's why you see that let go. We need the match to continue. It's why movement in a referee's grip is a warning instead of a foul, which personally I hate. Hate it. Because it takes authority away from the referee. The whole thing about a referee's grip is I now have a new level of control to be able to manage the match. That level of control gets diluted when you change it from a foul in a referee's grip to a warning. Makes it harder to run the match. So, let me finish and then yes. So you've taken refs, you've putting them into an environment that is difficult to begin with. Through the first year of East versus West, rules changed often, trying to come up with the right rule set.
With the best one, yeah.
Yeah, right. Not that that's bad, it was just how it was done. So you were constantly learning something new, and there's muscle memory. I mean, I still catch myself at East versus West wanting to say ready. So I've said ready, go for 20 years.
Yeah.
And now we don't. So all of that makes it very difficult. You're bringing referees in from different corners of the world, which makes it hard for us to spend time together to really work together to smooth that out. Although I think I would say that over time, the consistency of the refereeing as a whole is getting better with spots where it's just ugly, right? The Gennady Devon match was ugly. From anybody's view, I'm not blaming any individual ref or rule set or Engen or Robert or anybody, but that match was ugly. Alex and Devon. There were mistakes made in that match that simply shouldn't have been made. At that level, you shouldn't make that mistake, but it was, right? Earlier in the day, Wallace Dilly and the South African kid that lives in Australia, tell me his name right.
Ricard.
Yeah, you're right, Art. I made the same mistake. I called a foul and a loss. Realized before the next round started that I was bringing an elbow foul from the round prior into that round, fixed it, brought it back up.
Yes.
So it didn't alter the outcome of the match, but I made a mistake.
Yeah.
And luckily that was caught soon enough that we fixed it. The match that everybody likes to bring up for me right now is Arackley and Matt Mask and Levon. When I made
and Levon, I like how you said and Levon.
When I made the pin call that upset everyone, including Levon, the very moment that I made that pin call, I said to myself, I have to review that call. I'm not comfortable with my angle for that call. So in my mind, I was already going to the camera to review it before all the world blew up about that. And we got everything settled down on stage. I went, reviewed it. I was right. My angle wasn't right to make that call. The call was wrong. We reversed it. We restarted the match. That's why instant replays in place. Is there are referees out there, and I know them, that absolutely refuse to admit that they made a mistake. If they made the call, that call is right. It's basically that call came from God, and a referee cannot be wrong. I am not that referee. Bill Collins is not that referee. Christo is not that referee. Robert Kornick from Germany, not that referee. We are all very aware that we make mistakes. We'll own our mistakes, and we're all trying to get better. So I'm done on my soapbox now. You had a question, so let's back up, and I'll just start answering your questions now.
Okay, so first of all, like you said, like refs grip, if you give fouls straight away, it gives the refs more power, right? I think it like maybe on East versus West it could work because there's 3 foul system, right?
No, East versus West is a 2 foul system.
Oh, so yeah, like that's where the problem is. Sometimes you move, sometimes things happen, and if the referee can like put you in a correct position, like if sometimes like you move a little bit and they will be like just like stop, foul. You know how it is on buff because you go
Yeah.
so serious, it's done. My solution to this, okay, for some reason why I thought three fouls, but let's say two foul system, right? So you have four warnings, but every time you make a call, you don't stop. So someone moves, you say warning, whoever that is, fix it, say go. Because every time if you say you're like warning and you stop and they start regripping and then it starts all over again, all over again. I think that could fix and put again like there's still authority because they if they break the grip, you know, you can punish them for it. I think
Right.
that kind of rule it and also like you don't put pauses on the event because every time you know athletes will take every option to go away, shake their hand, take some chalk, think about stuff, you know.
Yep. And I don't disagree with that as an idea. My
Mhm.
argument was let's get rid of warnings in the referee's grip, but go to a three foul system.
That could work. That could work. Because
Same
then you know,
concept,
like you get a fun foul, you're like, okay, you know,
right?
yeah.
In order for your version to really work well, I believe, and really for a lot of things to work smoother at East versus West in the reffing and the commentating and the spectator view, because that's the three things that really have to work out well together. The commentator needs to know what the heck I'm doing, and the audience needs to understand it. If I'm mic'd, but only the commentators hear me,
Hmm.
so they know. In that example, Ray, one warning, don't move. They
Hmm.
can talk about that. Oh, there's a warning been given. Versus, oh, wait a second, what happened in the crowd? Well, I thought it was supposed to be a warning, and now Ray has a foul because they didn't hear that first warning because we're moving a lot and stuff. I think there needs to be better communication between so that the commentators can hear me and
Yes.
explain it to the crowd.
Yes. Like we also talked about it on the fix. If you saw it, that sometimes the camera will turn to the athlete and you don't see what's happening, right? And you have these. So, and I think some microphone implementation where you say the things that are happening for the audience, for everyone, would also be better, right? So, because I think if we can fix that, we fix a lot of issues. We fix a lot of issues. And for people, because it's all about being fair. If we can be as fair as we can be, you know, then everything is better. Uh,
You know, funny thing, there's a lot of this whole fair thing getting thrown around, and that the Eastern European athletes are worried that they're not going to be treated fair if Engen's not there or if Devon's involved and all this stuff. Um, the simple fact is, from a referee standpoint, I I don't care who wins a match. I from refereeing that match standpoint, I don't care. From a fan standpoint, of course I care. I have friends in the sport. I have favorite arm wrestlers that I want to see win matches. I have arm wrestlers that I kind of want to see lose a match.
mhm.
But as a referee, I don't care. And to me, the perfect example of that match where I just do my job and I don't care about the outcome until the match is completely over, I can be as disappointed as I want, was John versus um, Yoshi. What a what a disappointing match to see John lose that match.
Yeah.
From a fan of John, as a friend of John, I've I've known John for 20 years. I've practiced with John, I've drank beer with John, I've competed against John, and I've given John a lot of ready goes over the years. Right? I'm John is a friend. Of course I wanted to see him win the match. Didn't change my reffing. Right? And I think there's too many arm wrestlers out there, and I don't really think the fans think about this, but I think there's too many arm wrestlers out there that don't believe people can be non-biased, and maybe that's because they can't be.
Uh, what do you think? Why is everyone thinks that Devon is like he's been saying like everyone's like he's cheating all the time, cheating. Yet, like I said, like there hasn't been any disqualifications, there hasn't been any reversed calls. If someone is cheating and is cheating all the time, you know, how is? But I also say like everyone tries to push the rules. I just think Devon pushes the rules on a different level. If I push rules here just to try to get a little, let's say, carve or higher or whatever, he will push it here. Is that the issue? Because no one else does that?
Yep. So I think we can take this apart. Define for me what is cheating.
Um, okay, so everyone says cheating, and I'm also at fault of it. Let's say it like this: trying to gain advantage.
Okay, is that cheating?
If referee calls on it, then it is cheating. You know what I mean?
What if the
if
referee doesn't call it?
then referee didn't see it as cheating, right?
But was it still cheating?
Probably yes.
Okay, then every arm wrestler in the sport is a cheater.
Yeah,
Every single one.
yeah.
You, Engen, Robert, everybody. Myself, everybody's a cheater.
Because we're trying to get advantage, even if it doesn't get called. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
So then it comes down to, well, I mean, just trying to get your setup. I mean, yeah, I mean, technically, you're cheating because you're trying to get an advantage, but I'm not cheating as much as he's cheating.
Mm.
So now we get into levels and degrees.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
It is and then it gets more complicated than that, because as a referee at East versus West, and I have done 4 or 5 East versus West. I have said go to some of the biggest matches at East versus West. Not one time, not once, has anyone told me, don't foul so-and-so out. That has never happened. Engen has never said to me, don't foul out Devon. Engen has also never said to me, foul him out. Right? About any athlete. That has never been said. It has never been said when Robert took over. There has never been communication to me as a referee telling me do or don't call fouls. What has been said, we have to do our best to get the match to finish without fouling out competitors. It's what the fans want. Use your best discretion. Okay? Which now makes reffing at East versus West that much more difficult. So I'm not even saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's hard.
I think it is really hard because referees don't know at what point you should start giving fouls away or punish the athlete, or you think like they will get their set right now. It's coming. Like we're gonna set it up. It's gonna start right now, right? But we have seen it sometimes take so much time, where it gets absolutely ridiculous, and then everyone's talking about the setup more than the whole match. You know?
Right. Yep. I would say that and it's my opinion, I think it has been easier for me to ref Devon than it has been other referees.
Other athletes?
No, other ref than it's been
Oh, for you.
easier
Okay.
to ref Devon than it has been other referees to ref Devon.
Okay.
And I think that's probably because Devon and I have known each other. I've reffed Devon prior to East versus West. And Devon knows I don't care if I foul him out. Devon knows he can't intimidate me on the table. So I think he's a little bit easier for me. Not a lot, but a little bit. It also could be that the matches I've reffed him at East versus West were just simply easier matches to ref. So I don't know what it is. Do I think at times referees are concerned about what Devon's saying to them? I really don't think so. I think at times referees have been concerned if they're going to get in trouble for fouling athletes out. But I don't know that. That's just my opinion.
I
No,
think
no
like
referee has
I
said
think
to
they
me,
just the
I
refs
don't.
are I think they most of the time, like you said, they're just really trying to put on a match without fouling anyone out. That's 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 what I see. But sometimes when you watch it from the sidelines, it is really frustrating. You know what I mean? Because
Oh,
as a ref, you think all the time it's coming, like shoulder, red, good, and then it's something like okay, and then you have to reset it again, and then like okay, you reset, but you think like it's right there, it's right there. I'm gonna say go. I sympathize with that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I understand it. Um, one of the things that those go.
no, I was just gonna say, I consistently ask myself why I'm still doing it. Because trust me, it's not for the money, because the referee pay ain't that good. I mean, it's more than fair, but it's not like I'm making tons of money repping. And it sure isn't for the glory, because I'm one of the most hated people in the sport when I'm on the stage, so that's lots of fun.
That's always fun.
And it's unbelievably stressful. You know, at least half the people are going to hate you when you're done. It's exhausting. I mean, the amount of times where I've considered hanging up my stripes and just not repping anymore is in the last year and a half is probably once a week that I consider about walking away from repping completely, because it's not, and it's certainly not worth the ridicule we take on social media at this point.
I agree. It's one of like it's in arm wrestling. It's the toughest thing to do. I think it's the toughest thing to do. The high level profile match because everyone's looking at you, and if you make a mistake, everyone knows you made a mistake. And why was there this call, not this call? And guys both foul at the same time. Who fouled first? Did you see this? You didn't see this. How did you not see it? Right? So
Yep.
I understand it. One of
And
the
we're a
things,
small enough sport still that it's still, though those criticisms come very personal. They make the
yes,
criticism personal. It's
yes,
not like soccer or hockey. We'll talk about hockey because we both like hockey. It's not like the ref that gets the call in a hockey game wrong. Oh, that ref screwed up. We hate him. He needs glasses and he moves on with life. Our sport's small enough that I get private messages telling me what a hateful, terrible human I am.
some of the comments says, "Don't go, Luke. Don't go." I'll read some super chats. Rule should be same for everyone in the first place for it to work. What was that they won't call fouls by Devon when Hermes pulled Levin? I get it. I get it. But still, one more time. What was that they won't call fouls by Devon when Hermes pulled Levin? I don't understand what was
I don't understand that either.
yeah, I understood. I'm sorry, guys. Um, uh, uh, Armeriot Asparini, Ray, you're part of the problem. I see you recently called Devon a cheater. Yes, I think I am probably. I think we need to change the language. I think, yeah, we can. Like, I don't think if. Like, Luke was right. Luke was right. Everyone's trying to get advantage. And if you do cheat, referees foul you out. That's being. You just been caught, right? You did something, you've been caught. You didn't get caught. Are you still cheating? Yes? So everyone's cheated. That's a good point. Um, Sterling Jackson, Devon continues to grab the strap after a warning or a foul to gain advantage, or tells the ref to leave it alone, just say go. Is there usually, because there was some instances where he pulled like the strap and tied it on opponent's hand or something. It should probably most of the times be foul, not foul, but warning at least, right? What is it written down, or it's again one of those rules that has been just there?
So in the East versus West rule set, it states the competitor shall not touch the strap.
Mm-hmm.
But that has never been written into rules before, to my knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, PM, I think it's simple. If rules are black and white, it's okay. Hold refs responsible. If rules are gray, you can't point fingers at ref. Thing is, rules are black and white, many matches end on foul. Yeah, if the rules are black and white, many matches end on fouls. Yeah, that is the biggest problem in arm wrestling. is the biggest problem in arm wrestling, I think. When
So
when the
this is a great example of that. Aramis versus Devon.
Mhm.
First of all, I want to say I love Aramis. Like he's one of my more favorite arm wrestlers. I like him as a person. I genuinely enjoy being around Aramis. Okay? If we would have called that match anywhere close to strict, Aramis would have never seen a go after the first round. He would have fouled out of every match because he could not calm down and stay still in a referee's grip. He just couldn't. The brain focus connection, the stress, everything. He got knocked out of his comfort zone and he couldn't get back. And if we would have been remotely strict, that entire series would have just gone out on all fouls. And I screwed up in that. At one point, I let my frustration show. And I looked at Aramis and said, stop whining. I used the word whining. I should not have. I should have said, stop complaining, focus on your arm wrestling, knock it off. Any of those things, I shouldn't use the word whining. Now, let it be known, I have also gone up to Aramis face to face and apologized for that, and he accepted my apology. We're not always perfect.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Luke's the man. He mans up for all the mistakes and tries to make it fair. I know it. And Mrs. Perini, I think people need to decide. We want a fan-friendly event or PAL. Decide exactly, exactly. I think what we have is, but I know it's gonna be always like this. If the rules are too loose, everyone cries when they're too loose, and when they're too strict, they're gonna cry about them being too strict, right?
I think we're the closest we've ever been to the middle ground. PAL is way too strict to be watchable by somebody other than an arm wrestler.
Yes.
WAL was awful.
Why you say that?
It's just
It was
the
beautiful.
the rules they had weren't enforced. It was hate it. WAL was a really good stepping stone for the sport to bring people watching it, but the actual WAL events were hard to watch for me because it was no longer arm wrestling. It was closer to the circus that Engen refers to than what arm wrestling is, in my opinion. I wasn't a fan of the WAL show, but I think we're as close as we've been to a good middle ground. But it can get better.
Shiraz S. In other sports like cricket, teams are penalized for slow playing rates. Also, like you're trying to separate fact from emotions. Because teams are penalized for slow playing rates. So like if you like you're trying to what is it buy time, right? Then you get penalized for this. But arm wrestling is different, in my opinion. If of course if you go take the chalk and it's like 1 minute and then you do like for 3 minutes, I think you should be called to the table and you should have a warning or a foul or something. Big Group Goats, Luke, big respect. If you were the owner of the league, what would you do differently? The funny thing, I think Devon is so good, he doesn't need these advantages 98% of the time. We need hero Devon back. So you're the owner of the league. You now have the best league on the planet for arm wrestling.
Yeah.
How far you go from what we have now?
Um, I think the thing I would do different is doing I don't want to use the word better, but I think allowing people that are really good at what they do to be in charge of that section of the event and trust them to do their job. If I've got you and you're my lead commentator, I want you to be able to handle all things commentating without having to look over your shoulder, give you direction every 5 minutes. If you can't handle that, then you're probably not the right person for the job. But if you are the right person for the job, I need to let you do the job. If it's the camera crew, if it's the matchmaker, if it's the referee, if it's whatever the heck it is that actually is Anna's job title other than Queen of all things organization, let her do it and leave her alone because she's amazing at it. And then instead of thinking that you've got to control everything, do what you're good at and put people in place to do what they're good at. Build your team and it gets better for everybody. So that would be the thing. I would take more of a team approach to running the events versus a boss approach.
That's good. BC, flash pin for young people, King's move for old people. More spectacle, cool only if King's move is used as transition trap, 5 seconds locked and should lose. So what he's saying is like a rule, if you get in the Kings for 5 seconds and you don't advance, you lose the match or something. I don't know. I think the rule we have now is good. I think it's good.
I have no problem with the current King's move rule.
Yeah.
In general, I don't think it's hard to call. The only difficult part of the King's move call currently is if that person is right on the edge of winning position or neutral position.
Yeah.
I almost think the King's move foul, the declining humerus, should only come into play on the losing side of the table, not neutral.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't spent enough time thinking about the possible other problems that could cause to say, yes, I would like to do that, but it's something I think should be explored.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Simon Fulland, hi Luke, what are your thoughts on the consent system Devon is talking about? Consent system.
So the concept of it, I really like. I would really want to play with it in person, in a live action, to see how it really works.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's more moving pieces to it than just Ray and I are both sitting here, we're both carved in a little bit, we both say, yes, we're ready, and then we say go. There's more to it than that, because from when we both say ready, there still has to be that control of don't move, go. And as soon as that referee starts that don't move, any movement from there should probably or potentially be a foul. I don't know. That's where you'd have to play with that part of the system more. Otherwise, you have that risk of consent, nope, not consent, consent, nope, not consent, and it becomes an absolute train wreck. But just the idea of we're both happy, I don't care that I can't see my thumb knuckle, Ray doesn't care if my shoulders turned out just a little bit, we're both ready to arm wrestle, by God, let us arm wrestle.
Let's go. Yeah. One thing I wanted to touch on is, so I would think the problem I know referees have, and like you said, you've been refereeing for WAF rules for 20 years. So, in your head, you look at the match through that lens. And it's very hard sometimes to just get back into the groove. What if there would be referee training for it? What do you think? Like, let's say you come in and at least like 2-3 times before the event, refs go through everything. Because most of the time I know like guys will get on table and they will discuss things, but as a training, because everyone needs to be reminded. Everyone needs to be reminded. And I think then as soon as you get in that zone, you're like, okay, and then everyone can make consistent calls. Because I think like as referees, you still do training. Either it is you go to smaller competitions and you practice, or you go to seminar and work on it, and then someone that kind of judges you and tells you what some mistakes you make or something and whatever.
No problem with the idea. It would just take just a little bit of organization to make sure all the referees are there at a time enough ahead of the event to have the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it wouldn't have to be a long time. A
30 minutes
training before every East versus West.
I would say Friday and Saturday right? You do a little bit, and then you little bit refreshing yourself, get through some stuff. Because I know how hard it is sometimes to go from one rule set to another, and then everyone's like, I remember how many times the guys are still saying ready go, right?
Yep.
It's just there, right? But when you start, it's like, I think it's like driving on the wrong side of the road, whatever is the wrong, like what they do in UK, you know? You just practice a little bit and you're like, oh, it's not so hard, it's fine. I haven't done it, but I
I,
heard it.
I don't, I don't see how that could possibly hurt.
Yeah, yeah. I think that would be like, like as everywhere, you have the main ref, whoever is the main ref, and then you work on those things. But yeah, um, listen, guys, I am actually super tired, and I want to thank Luke for coming on. Like you made some great points, some awesome points actually. I'm looking.
So
I love to
one
hear.
thing I want to leave the fans with, because this came up in the live we did the other night with Dexter and Robert, Bill and I, and we answered rules questions and stuff like that. One of the comments came up, you're making too many calls during the match. We're calling too many fouls.
Mhm.
Okay? I would challenge you all to look at that a little bit different way. Are we are we calling too many fouls? Or are the athletes committing too many fouls? Who should that really fall on? So,
You know, we fix all the problems when we start calling fouls cheating, and then, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it has been discussed. I don't think it's anywhere close to being implemented, but it has been discussed that if you foul out of a match, that there is a financial penalty for the arm wrestler.
That was one of my suggestions very, very long time ago. As I said, like how we can get rid of people, because there's incentive. You will risk it to win it, right? You will risk it to win it. That's the foul is. You're risking, right? You're risking pulling back. You're risking your elbow going over the back. So you get further away. It's all risk. It's all risk.
Yeah. I risk false starts all the time as a competitor because I'm slow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're like, and the ref says, "Not even ready, dude. Not even ready." You're like, I don't know. Yeah. I heard it. Anyway, thank you, Luke. Thank you guys so much for joining. I hope all the situation gets buried. We get back to arm wrestling and see some amazing things happening in the future for arm wrestling. Yeah. Thank you, Luke.
Yep. See you guys.